Hello Internet, and welcome to the first ever episode of Screen Peeves, where I take an in-depth look at one of the many outrageously specific things that really piss me off about movies, games, TV, or media in general. Today's peeve comes in the form of a very particular sound effect, one which I've been aware of for as long as I can remember. I hear it f***ing everywhere, and it drives me absolutely nuts. Whenever I hear it in a movie, game, or show, it completely shatters my immersion and brings me back into mundane reality. It's been haunting me for years, and it's time for it to stop. There are many well-known, overused sound effects in movies and TV, some of which you may already be familiar with, like the Wilhelm scream. This one, however, doesn't annoy me when it occurs because it's become somewhat of a meme. And it's always been a bit of an inside joke amongst filmmakers. So, when it does occur, it's often used in a comical way. I feel like this can be excused, provided that it's used sparingly. Other overused sound effects include that same f***ing baby crying and everything, and a metal door opening. But those particular examples, and many others, are pretty easy to distinguish as they're instantly recognisable, and so a great number of people are already familiar with them. Now, I'm about 99% certain that nobody else on Earth will have been afflicted by today's particular issue, as it is extremely specific to me. But I want to share it with you all today in the hopes that you will start to notice it in future, and it will ruin your lives as well, because I'm sick of bearing the burden of this alone. This sound effect was first brought to my attention in the year 2001. As a small slice, I thoroughly enjoyed playing many PC CD-ROM games at home. This was before the internet had properly kicked off, and so my time-wasting options were fairly limited. Amongst games such as Tonic Trouble, Jazz Jackrabbit 2, which is fucking sick by the way, you should play Jazz Jackrabbit 2, 3D Movie Maker, and another game that I can't remember the name of, nor ever find again, no matter how much I try and describe it to Google. Then there was Lego Stunt Rally, a pretty terrible game that I was absolutely obsessed with and would play over and over and over again. It was pretty much just the same race around a pretty repetitive track with slight visual alterations each time. One of the main things that demonstrated the lack of variety this game had was the cheering crowd sound effect, which played every time you completed a race. This is the sound effect. Okay, let's do that one more time so that you can familiarise yourself with the noise. Pay close attention to the kind of young, high-pitched scream amongst the crowd. That's the key to recognising it. Now you know it. Do you know how many f***ing things I hear this noise in? It's everywhere. It's in Batman Returns. It's in the f***ing Minions movie. It's in A Bug's Life. It's even in Shrek 2.
Princess Fiona and her new husband, Prince Shrek.
I pray to Shrek every night before bed. Shrek is love, I say. Shrek is life.
I know for certain that I heard it in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, but when I watched the footage back I struggled to find it, but just take my word for it, it's in there. It's in Family Guy, The Simpsons, Chicken Run, Cool Runnings, Free Willy, Paddington 2, Hercules. It's even made its way onto the Nintendo Switch in Mario & Rabbids Kingdom Battle. F*** off! When I decided I was going to do a video about this particular sound, I started making note of when and where I heard it, with the intention of creating kind of a long compilation video with all the examples in to just really demonstrate exactly how often it gets used. But last weekend was the final straw. I couldn't hold on any longer. Whilst relaxing on my Saturday off, I decided to have a quick butcher's at the live coverage of the royal wedding, and I heard something unnerving. No. No. No! No! I couldn't believe it. That same f***ing crowd cheering, on a loop, the entire f***ing time. This is borderline fake news. How could they not have found a better crowd cheering noise to bulk out their coverage of the event? The wedding cost £32 million. If you're going to bother to fake the noise of the crowd, you could at least splash out on something original, rather than just license this cheap shit library garbage. F*** off. Now that you've been infected with the knowledge of this obscenity, hopefully you'll start hearing it everywhere too, and it will drive you mental. And if you do ever notice this sound effect in any film, show or game, please come back and drop it in the comments. I just need to know where it is so I can actively avoid hearing it ever again. I happen to know that it's also going to feature in The Incredibles 2, which is out in a few months, and I'm so excited that the movie I've been waiting 12 years for will be momentarily shat on by the sound of a clueless group of twats cheering from 28 years ago. So keep your ears peeled for it, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. Thanks.